Hello everyone, this is Ted with OAXRAY, and today we're going to talk about controversial items selling. Is it worth it? Okay, so the last few weeks, there's been a lot of different items out there that have been canceled, either by the publisher or by the company who's making them, or maybe they just have been removed from specific platforms. So specifically, I'm going to talk about Dr. Seuss, and I'm going to talk about Mr. Potato Head. This is not political. This has nothing to do with if it's okay to sell these items morally or anything like that. This is just what happens to these items generally and what's happened to these two specific items. And the reason I'm talking about these specifically is because everybody's going to remember it. It's a very easy item to bring up. And I think that everybody can kind of relate to what they've heard on social media, what they've heard in the news. And then they can say, oh man, I should have, or I shouldn't have actually jumped into this product. So first one I'm going to analyze, and this represents a lot of things that have been happening recently. And it is Dr. Seuss. So I first came across this the day after they canceled it. And then on every news outlet in the morning when I woke up, I remember seeing it. So, I mean, every single news outlet you can think of, it is, oh gracious, they are canceling Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss, and then, you had two different narratives. Either Dr. Seuss is a great person, he was a terrible person, or, somewhere in the middle. But my first thought was, how can I make money off of this, or is money going to be involved? So what I did was, I didn't buy any books because I know how volatile this stuff is, and I don't even want to be involved, but I'll explain to you exactly what happened and how you can be left holding the bag. So first of all, I'm going on to eBay now. It's a few days later. Maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after the event happened. And If I Ran a Zoo is one of the books that we're talking about. And it's very important that everybody get this and understand it. So here I am. I'm on eBay because eBay is generally the most liberal platform as far as Amazon or eBay. They're more liberal than Amazon. Amazon will cancel listings very quickly. So anything controversial, first I'm going to throw it to eBay because I don't want to lose my Amazon account. eBay is a little bit more for these kinds of items. But the first thing I see a week later is that If I Ran a Circus is all over the place. And right here we have a picture of If I Ran a Zoo, but the title says If I Ran a Circus. Now, why would a seller do this? Well, it's because within 2 days, eBay, who listens to the public feedback, who listens to people on their Twitter accounts and all of these things, saw that people were selling this book for $300 after it had been canceled, and they got enough flack for it that they went after all the listings for this book and they shut it down. So the problem is, whenever you talk about any of this controversial things, is multiple things can happen. But one thing that often happens is the companies like eBay or Amazon say, whoa, we're getting way too much flack for this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cancel listings. So you had hundreds or even thousands of people, dozens on my feed, who were like, I got If I Ran a Zoo. I always pass it. I went to my thrift store and I got it. It's selling for $300. I'm so excited. There were even people who went to thrift stores or went to retail stores and they had been marked up. So instead of the book being the normal $5, it was $50 or $100. There was a case where in the glass case, they put the Dr. Seuss books that were canceled, all of them, and they were selling them for $100 a piece. So what someone did, and this is what happens when this frenzy of events goes on, is that people get so excited. They see, oh man, it's $400, it's $300 on eBay. And then they make poor buying decisions. And I'll explain this to you. So he buys the set, this person buys the set, $100 each, $600, thinks I'm going to make a pretty profit. These things are going for $300 a piece or $1,800 for the entire set on eBay. Very excited, came home super excited, builds the eBay listings. An hour later, before it closes, before anyone buys it, they all get canceled. All the listings. eBay has now put basically an algorithm that goes through, checks the titles, and removes any of these listings. So any of these marketplaces can get enough flack to where they say, you know what, we're getting so many calls a day, we're going to take this off of our site. And I know some people will say, well, that's anti-business and they should just sell it and they'll make their 15% or 10% or whatever it is. But this is what companies often do, and it is not related to and like I said before, this is not political, but this is a very dangerous game to play, because sometimes they even give you account strikes and they tell you, hey, you can't sell this kind of stuff here. So what happened to this person was they had $600 worth of books. The thrift store was excited because they made $600 off of books that were basically worthless the day before. These things were sitting on the shelf. I've seen them before for 50 cents, 25 cents in the bargain bin, basically. And the price skyrockets. People come in the store, they're trying to buy up every copy. And now eBay has canceled your listings. And this person's lost $600. They were so excited. And that is why I say, don't get involved in these types of things, regardless if you agree with it morally, regardless if you agree with it in any way or you don't agree with it. I would say just stay off of these controversial items because the market timing is too quick. Unless you can get it immediately, and I'm not talking about this specifically again. If you see something, it's going to be canceled and you can get it very, very quickly. You can create a buy it now offer and it can get sold immediately. That's the only way I jump into anything like this. Anything where you're running to the store paying 10 times retail, 50 times retail, 25-cent book, now it's $100. Any situation like that, you're taking a massive risk whenever we're talking about this stuff. So I would say if you can find items that are lower priced on a venue and higher priced on a different venue, flip those items. If you see it in the news, especially you wake up, you see it in the news, that means hundreds of thousands of other people saw it in the news. They're all running to the store. They're all going to try to make a quick buck. And even if this had not been canceled, the price would have dropped because there were so many copies of this book around. And if you've sold books for any amount of time, you see this thing all the time. You see these 6 books all the time, so many copies. So the price would have dropped either way, but eBay or Amazon can make this happen. Okay, so I'm going to talk about another topic, and that is Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. So for a few hours, a few weeks ago, the company that makes Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head said, we're going to drop the Mr. and Mrs. and we're just going to be called Potato Head. And the frenzy that ensued after that sent people buying up every Mr. Potato Head around. Now, this is a little bit of a different lesson because here we see Mr. Potato Head and we see it for $22 and we see it for $23 all around on eBay and probably on Amazon too. But and you see this guy right here, this person right here, they have 59. Why? Because they ran to the store and they bought every one of these. And now they have 50 of them. Or maybe they bought them wholesale. We can also sell, maybe that's possible. But the issue is, at any point, any of these companies can change their direction. So what we have here is Mr. Potato Head said for a few hours, hey, we're going to cancel the Mr. and Mrs. Then they basically switch things up and say, oh, we're not canceling it. We're just going to make the Mr. a little bit less prominent in the display. So all of a sudden you ran out and you're this person right here and you bought up, 50 or 100 of these things. And the Potato Head company, they decide, hey, we're going to switch things up. Oh, we got too much flack. We can't do this anymore. There's too many people calling us and yelling at us and all of these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to reverse decision. Now, had you gone out and bought all these items, then you now are stuck with inventory that you're basically going to take a loss on, or you can break even on. You took all this time out of your day to try to find a quick buck, flip these items. And if you look at all these, they actually have a lot of items sold. This one sold 92. This one sold 40. This one sold 16. This one sold 118. But if you look at the prices the very next day, the prices were elevated. Now they're coming back down and all these people are left as bag holders without any political leaning or any saying whether this is positive or negative. We can see pretty easily that these prices get inflated for a day, maybe 2 days. And then any of these companies can either reverse a decision, maybe eBay says you can't sell it, or any of these situations can happen. So just personally, selling items online, don't go for the fat items. Don't go for those items that are going to be hot today. And then, one decision by the company, the potato head company, changes the entire equation. So that is what I want everybody to think about. Not only think about risking your account or possibly risking your account. Not only think about, they might cancel these listings, but think about what the company may do whenever they get all the flack that comes from, canceling one of these things. So I want everybody to concentrate on your business. Try to keep the social media, these hot items that come out, they're in, they're out, and the profit looked like it was there by the time you get it. No more profit is available. So just try to find items the old-fashioned way. Look for items that have a discrepancy in price, whether it's wholesale, whether it's using OAXRAY, doing OA, but just make sure you stay out of these pitfalls, which I've just named 2 today, and I'm sure there's going to be more in the future. And I might even talk about some of the other ones that happen, because for me, it's entertaining, just to see both sides. It's entertaining because I like to look at the data. I like to look and see, okay, the price spiked to $300 for If I Ran a Zoo. These things were basically $4 or $5 after shipping before. And then everything comes crashing down because eBay decided to change their mind. So everybody out there, thank you guys. Have a great day and make some money using OAXRAY.